In a recent discussion, journalist and politician Taj Ali brought to light a perspective on the UK's immigration crisis that challenges common narratives surrounding illegal migrants. He posits that the real sources of the UK struggles are not the migrants themselves, but rather the politicians who deflect blame and manipulate public sentiment. In an era marked by an ageing population and declining birth rates, Ali argues that the UK must rethink its approach to immigration, particularly in light of the significant contributions migrants make to various sectors. Have a listen.
I think we need to be honest about the fact that this country is so dependent on migration. 96% of immigrants to this country come by legal means. They are people who come from Ukraine, people who come from Hong Kong, people who came from Afghanistan after the Taliban came to power. But the British public believe that illegal migration makes up the vast majority of migration. So we've constantly had this debate about migration being an issue, and we don't talk enough about the fact that in social care at the moment we have 133,000 vacancies. In the healthcare system, we have vacancies. In building sites, we have vacancies. We have a skills shortage. We have an aging population. We have declining birth rates. And our economy is so dependent on migration, and the politicians know it. So when David Cameron said he's going to bring migration down to the tens of thousands, it was just unrealistic because our economy is so dependent on people from overseas.
What do you say to that?
I do want to say, though, when you look at the rhetoric you've had around asylum seekers, even under the Blair years, you had the demonisation of asylum seekers. That also has consequences for communities in this country, and we saw the consequences over the summer where you had people quite literally trying to burn down hotels housing asylum seekers. And I think when politicians don't show leadership and be honest about the benefits that migration brings to this country, I think that's a serious problem. We lack infrastructure, we lack investment in working class communities, and that creates a sense of resentment. We also have communities that have this great sense of loss when we lost industry, when we lost infrastructure, when we lost public services with austerity cuts. And I think we have to be honest about the challenges that working class communities face in terms of housing. We've not built enough social housing since the 1960s. Stop just blaming migrants for every single problem in British society. Let's be honest about the fact that governments have failed to invest in Britain as well.
Make your opinion count by liking this video and promoting it for more awareness. Also, share and subscribe to our channel for upcoming updates. Let's challenge the narrative together. Ali's comments resonate particularly in the context of ongoing debates about illegal immigration. In the popular discourse, illegal migrants are often portrayed as the culprits behind the nation's woes, with politicians eagerly pointing fingers to shift public frustration away from systemic issues. However, Ali contends that this view is not only simplistic, but also misleading. He emphasizes that it is not migrants from Nigeria, the Philippines or Poland who are making life miserable for the average Briton. Instead, he argues that the true problem lies with politicians who perpetuate this narrative, maintaining a foothold on power while diverting attention away from their own shortcomings. The backdrop of Ali's argument is the UK's ageing population and the accompanying decline in birth rates. As the country faces demographic shifts, the need for a sustainable workforce becomes increasingly pressing. Many sectors, particularly healthcare and construction, are grappling with skill shortages that hinder their ability to operate effectively. Ali points out that migrants, many of whom fill crucial roles in these industries, are essential to addressing these gaps. For instance, the National Health Service, NHS, relies heavily on foreign healthcare professionals, including nurses and care workers, to provide essential services. Similarly, the construction sector depends on skilled labour from abroad to meet the demands of ongoing projects. Ali's assertion is backed by migration statistics that reveal a more nuanced picture of the UK's immigration landscape. While illegal immigration is often sensationalised in the media, the reality is that many migrants contribute positively to society and the economy. By working in essential services, they not only sustain their families, but also support the welfare of the broader population. This contribution is particularly significant in light of the current labour shortages facing various sectors. The narrative that illegal migrants are to blame for the UK's economic struggles serves a political purpose. By framing immigration as a threat, politicians can rally certain segments of the population around a common enemy, distracting from their own failures in governance. This tactic has been used repeatedly, allowing political leaders to deflect attention from pressing issues such as inadequate housing, rising living costs, and a struggling public services system. Ali argues that this approach is not only disingenuous, but also harmful, as it perpetuates a cycle of division and animosity within society. Moreover, Ali emphasizes that the real source of misery lies in the policies and rhetoric propagated by politicians. These narratives reinforce negative stereotypes about migrants, fostering an environment of fear and distrust. By creating this divide, politicians can maintain their power while the public remains focused on scapegoating vulnerable populations instead of demanding accountability from their leaders. Ali's rhetoric challenges viewers to reconsider who is truly responsible for the challenges facing the UK today. As the UK navigates its demographic challenges, it is crucial to recognise the value that migrants bring to the country. Instead of viewing them as a burden, Ali advocates for a more inclusive perspective that acknowledges their contributions. This shift in mindset is essential for creating a more cohesive society that values diversity and recognises the importance of every individual, regardless of their background. Furthermore, Ali calls for a re-evaluation of immigration policies that would better reflect the needs of the economy. By embracing a more open approach to migration, the UK could alleviate skill shortages in key sectors and enhance its overall economic performance. The current climate, characterised by hostility toward migrants, only serves to exacerbate these challenges and limit the potential for growth. Ali's message resonates in a broader context, as many countries grapple with similar issues related to immigration and labour shortages. As global migration patterns evolve, it is essential for nations to adapt their policies to meet the demands of an ever-changing workforce. The UK stands at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming years will have lasting implications for its social fabric and economic prosperity. In conclusion, Taj Ali's critique of the UK's immigration discourse invites a necessary conversation about the role of migrants in society and the responsibility of politicians. Rather than blaming illegal migrants for the UK's challenges, Ali urges us to scrutinise the narratives pushed by those in power. The reality is that migrants are not the problem, they are often part of the solution, providing vital services and filling essential roles in the workforce. As the UK faces pressing demographic challenges, it must adopt a more constructive approach to immigration, recognising the value that migrants bring to the economy and society as a whole. By doing so, the UK can move toward a more equitable and prosperous future, where everyone, regardless of their background, can contribute to the nation's success. As viewers reflect on these insights, it is essential to engage in conversations that challenge prevailing narratives and promote understanding. The time has come to reassess our perspectives on immigration and recognise the significant contributions migrants make to the UK. Instead of pointing fingers, let's work together to create solutions that benefit everyone, fostering a society that values diversity and inclusivity. Thank you for joining this discussion, and I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on immigration policies and societal issues.